Trying to save money for emergencies while paying off debt can seem impossible, but it shouldn't. Without it, one small crisis can wipe out all the months you've been making progress. So in this video, I'm going to show you how to save $1,000 at least, even while you're paying off debt. Step number one is set a clear target. And in this target for this video, we're going to be targeting $1,000 because without a clear target, then you have no way of knowing whether you've saved enough or the goal that you want. So why $1,000? The $1,000 is because it's 2 in 5 Americans, that's 42%, don't have an emergency fund, and most of them couldn't cover $1,000 emergency expense with cash or savings. So that's why we're setting a goal of making sure that we have $1,000 even before we start paying off debt, because if you start paying off debt and then you don't even have an emergency and something, as I said, comes up, then you go back to wiping out all the progress that you have made. So our target, set a clear goal. Step number 2 is having a clear budget. When we don't have a budget, even when we're trying to save or even when we're paying off debt, it is impossible to come up with this $1,000. So make sure that you have a clear budget where you know all your income, all your expenses. And when you have that big picture, now you know all the places where your money is going, and it's easier to cut down and it's easier to know what you can reallocate in so that you can be able to come up with this $1,000 that we're trying to save. So make sure that your budget is nice and clean and you know all your expenses to the T. Because when you know all your expenses, now you know how much money I'm gonna be able to pay for the savings. And when you have that extra money after all your expenses, you know now how long that's gonna take you. Okay. Step number 3, and this one seems so easy, but it's so important, is opening a separate savings account. When you open a separate savings account, it removes the temptations of commingling your debt, your regular bills with the money that you're trying to save for an emergency. So make sure that this money is in a totally separate account. Could it be a bank that is away from your house, a bank that's online, a bank, where you know that in case of an emergency that you're able to get this money quickly. And I know this step might look so simple or like, okay, let's open a separate saving account, because it's easier to take that money when we're in a crunch, when we have it readily in our regular accounts. But when we decide to open it up, sometimes it can be an inconvenience. You can also, like if it's online or it's a little farther from where you live, it makes it easier for you now to be able to commingle that money. Step number 4 is automating these savings. I cannot emphasize how automation is so key. And when we automate this process, it becomes so easy. Let's say you've looked at your budget and you've decided, you know what, I'm going to be putting aside $50 a week. That's $200 a month. So $50 a week, and I'm going to make that automated. So make sure that you automate it, because once you automate it, it's so easy to save than when you take the money and allocate it. And when I think about automation, I think the best people that knows how to automate is the government. You know how they take our money out of our paychecks, because they want to take the taxes. Can you imagine if they made us send the money? We would never ever be able to give them the money. But I think when I think about automation, I always think about how smart they thought about this process, that they take our money for the so-called taxes or all the things that they take out of our paychecks, but they're not waiting for us to give them that money because they know it's a hassle, but they just take it out. For us we need to make that process of automation, of paying ourselves first or putting all these savings to automation, because that is the best process. So make sure that you're automating this process so that you can be able to accomplish your goal quick. Step number 5 is selling things that you're not using. So going into your garage, your closet, even your kitchen. What are the things that you have in your garage tools that maybe you haven't used for years, gadgets that you haven't used for years, and yet they're staying in your garage. So this might be the best time to declutter, and you'll be surprised you can come up with even $500 by just decluttering and maybe even having a yard sale, selling things on Craigslist, Facebook Marketplace, or anywhere, or maybe asking a friend whether they need something. So sell things that you're not using. There you come up with your $1,000 quicker, and then you're decluttering your house at the same time. Step number 6 is adding a side hustle. If you're still struggling and you don't even know where to get this money, this is an idea where you can be, what are you good at? Are you good at baking? Can you bake for birthday parties for people? Can you tutor? Are you good at math? And is there a student around your neighborhood that you can tutor? Maybe babysit for a couple that is going out on a date, a couple Fridays a month. What else? I'm not gonna say mowing lawns and all that. So find something that you're good at and find a way to make this side hustle bring you money. And you'll be so surprised that you can be able to come up with at least even $100, $200 a month. And remember, you're not doing this forever. The goal here is to get that 1,000 quickly so that we can have an emergency fund. So find something that you're good at and maybe utilize that and see what you can do. Step number 7 is cutting expenses temporarily. And the expenses I'm talking about is, let's say you have subscription that you're paying monthly and you don't really need them. So cut those down, and build this emergency fund of $1,000 quickly. Do you have monthly membership that you have that you're not using? Like you look and say, oh, I signed up for a monthly membership for a gym in January. It's August and I haven't even gone to the gym once. So stuff like that, cut that down. Maybe it's your cable. Maybe you don't need that cable, cut it down. With now all the streaming services that are out there, maybe you don't even watch TV anymore, but yet maybe you're paying $200 a month or $150 a month, and you might say, you know what, this $150, I could be putting it aside for my emergency fund. So look through things that you are not using, streaming services that you're not using, and see where you can cut down to come up with this money. And you'll be surprised how easy it is to come up with this $1,000. And it might be so daunting and feeling like, oh my goodness, $1,000 is a lot. It might as well be $1 million. But guess what? You can do this, and I'm rooting for you. Let me know in the comment, what are some ways that you've been able to come up with $1,000 for a saving, or do you have an emergency savings account? Let me know in the comment, or even ideas that you have that I didn't mention that could help somebody else in the comments. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in my next video.